If you want to get a high band score in the IELTS test, stick around to find tips and strategies that help you ace this test. And if you're new here, consider subscribing and make sure to click on the notification bell. Hi, what's going on everybody? I'm so delighted to see you again for another tutorial. I'm Mohammad and you're watching the 10th and the last episode of the IELTS speaking series. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how you can structure your Part 2 responses to get the highest possible band score. So let's jump into it. In Part 2, you're given a piece of paper with a topic printed on it. And as we discussed in the first episode, the examiner gives you a minute to prepare yourself. The examiner also provides you with a pencil and some paper so you can make notes. In this series, we've already talked about the importance of using the right tense or tenses in your Part 2 responses. And if you haven't seen that video, you can find the link to it in the description below and also in the YouTube card. Another thing that is really important is that sentences in a good Part 2 response should be connected to one another and form something like a chain. This makes it easier for the examiner to follow your response, and it'll also get you a higher band score. Now let's take a look at some examples to find out how sentences in a Part 2 response can be connected to one another. For instance, here's the task card we want to work on today. We need to talk about a recent achievement. There are certain things that this task requires us to mention about this achievement. Let's highlight the important points of this task. So there are 4 critical points that the examiner anticipates. We need to use a signal, word, phrase, or clause to introduce each of these points. One way to do this is by tweaking the questions a little bit like this. For instance, here are some ideas that can help you signal the beginning of each point. Obviously, this doesn't add up to even 1 minute, let alone 2. Therefore, we need to insert some extra comments in between these points to make our speech longer than 1 minute. Well, our IELTS speaking journey has come to a conclusion, but this is only the beginning of your preparation. Remember that to become a better speaker, there are 3 things you must do: practice, practice, and practice. Until next time, keep learning and keep practicing.